MMA Weekly here with Brandon Thatch, getting ready for the big main event, RFA 7. First time for RFA here in Denver. How's it feel to headline in the hometown again?
It's good, man. Anytime you're home, you get a boost of energy from the crowd and my family and friends. You know, training. I've had about 6 weeks out at TriStar with Faraz Zahabi and George St-Pierre and Francis Carmon, David Loiseau. The list goes on and on and on out there.
Now you've been doing a little more than just training there, though, right? Weren't you brought in to help George train for his fights?
Yeah, I was out there to mimic Diaz, and I was there for 10 weeks out there for Condit's fight, and you know I was there to basically mimic Condit and Diaz.
So did you have to do the Diaz trash talk as well?
No, I mean I messed around a little bit in the last few rounds that we did talking shit, but I was mostly just making sure my stance was low, same punches and bunches, going to the body, keeping real long with my hands and kind of playing with his hands a little bit, but yeah, I did my best to mimic him.
So how did that, your time up in Montreal, how has that helped for you, for your game? Because, I mean, you already work at a great gym here in Denver at Grudge, and you have a lot of great training partners here, but how is it to change things up and go with those guys?
Anytime you go out and you go to a different camp, you're going to get that nervous energy working with new people that you don't have any clue their style, their strengths or whatnot, so you get that nervous energy, that feel for a real fight, and you get pushed, but not only that, but the athletes that are constantly coming through, you know, they have a fighter storm there that's constantly filtering in new fighters. So I had new bodies and different guys to work with that may not have been the best at my stand-up, but then they'd be good at wrestling, or their wrestling wasn't that good, their jiu-jitsu was amazing. So I had partners that were good at something. So everyone there had something to offer.
And so you just kind of take bits and pieces from everybody and mesh it into your own?
Yeah, absolutely. And not, I mean, it was good to have someone that, you know, there's always a bigger dog there and something. You know, if I started feeling real confident in my stand-up or my jits or whatever, there was somebody that was going to put me down a peg or two and kind of, you know, chop me down a little bit. And it's good. It's good to be humbled and it's good to be pushed. I train with the best. Trevor Whitman is constantly pushing us. You know, I got guys like Nate Marquardt and Elliot and Leister for wrestling, and all these guys that are going to push me. So I get my ass whooped just as bad here as I do out there. It's just there's a few more athletes. There's constantly more athletes. There's anywhere from, you know, 20 to 40 guys in the gym at any time.
Now, this isn't the first time that you've had a little bit of a layoff. You had a layoff a few years ago due to a pretty serious injury. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
You know, I hurt myself. I had an injury in my neck, and it put me out for about 2 years. And it was a long road back. It was a long recovery back. It was one of the darker times in my life, and you know, it was hard to get back. And I questioned sometimes if I was ever going to be, you know, ever fight, let alone be athletic again. And it was a long road back, and it kind of gave me a sense of what I'm doing and, you know, why I do it. You know, I really do love the sport, and it just kind of gave me a taste of not having it and what it meant to really be in here and training. So I got a second chance at it, and I'm very, very blessed and very grateful. I put my career in the hands of my manager, Finn Beam, and you know, he's done really well about getting me the right fights that are going to push me and are still in are still in my league. You know, I've been smart about the fights that I take, that I'm still getting pushed and I'm taking new challenges. And it's to the point where I think every fight is going to be the toughest fight of my career, you know. So we've been smart about doing it right, and I feel like I haven't rushed too fast. And you know, I've been asked if I'm going to go to the big leagues or when I'm going to get to the UFC or what. But you know, if I just keep handling my fights in an impressive manner, then I feel like the outcome should handle itself, and I'll be there when I need to. Absolutely, I want to be considered one of the top elite fighters. I want to strap up those UFC gloves and be considered one of the best in the world. You know, I'd like to be. You know, everyone wants to say that they want to win the title and to defend the title and whatnot. You know, if that happens, it happens. I'd love to, but you know, right now I'm just focused on my fights, and you know, I'd really like to. Like I said, I don't really consider myself a UFC, an MMA fighter until you strap up those UFC gloves. So once I strap up those UFC gloves, I feel like I made it, and you know, I've contended with the best, and you know, we'll see where it goes from there.